I ain't tricking on no bitches, baby girl, I ain't no wizard. Only magic trick I got is turning college hoes to strippers. I had 2 in 1 apartment, shaking ass to get them digits. Count ones all on the floor and taking half before they get it. Made the bank go in a safe for 40K, you never did it. Got addicted to the club and spent a 10 on private visit. Altogether I blew 50. Call me Curtis with them Jacksons. Getting rich, I die to get it.
Salutations. We are here once again. You know what I'm saying? Nah, let me stop playing. What's going on, man? This is the Man What podcast. The crew is not here today, so this is just a Minisode. This is my third Minisode. I ain't really been counting them shits. You know what I'm saying? Just another Minisode. And today we have a very, very special guest that's gonna come and talk about we're going to talk about some things that we don't normally talk about in this manner on this podcast. We have beautiful. Well, first of all, wait, before I introduce you, I'm sorry. But this is the motherfucking XO level boy. Yeah, well, let's talk about that. It's the motherfucking XO level boy, the black and mild king, the one leg Libra, the motherfucking captain of the ugly squad is in this bitch today. And I'm here with a beautiful guest. You know what I'm saying? A psych major. You know what I'm saying? Psych major, not minor. Psych major. Graduated. Feel me? You of
Put some respect on it.
Put some respect on that shit.
Thank you.
Beautiful dark-skinned woman.
Very much so.
Dreadlock queen.
Very much so.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of other things that we not gonna get into today. But we here with Miss Rachel. How you doing, sweetie?
Hey. I'm excited to be here.
Okay. So before we start with our topics for today, I'm gonna go down my random thought rabbit hole today, right?
Okay.
So, as some of you motherfuckers know, the biggest, the best, the most beautiful,
Me?
Miss Lotto has dropped an album. We know that, right? You know what I'm saying? If you a nigga that's watching this shit, you probably don't know it because you're not in tune with what the females is doing. You might be. I ain't gonna say that because I'm a nigga and I'm in tune. But this is the best, you feel me, lyricist wise. So as we was listening to a lot of those albums, I couldn't help but think she was heavily influenced. I'm not even gonna say heavily because there was only like 3 to 4 songs on a 17 song project that sounded like this, but she was pretty influenced by Drake.
I agree.
In this last album.
But it was really good, though.
Like the last song, Shout Out to Me, I think that's what it's called. That is a Drake flow down to the T. Like,
is that the one where she switched the beat?
No, that was like the second or third song. I'm talking about the last song that came on right before the
Did I hear that one?
Yeah, we was in.
Right.
It was getting clean. We heard that one.
Right.
So, but yeah, like I was thinking, like I'm not gonna go as far as to say she was like Drake wrote for her, or I'm not gonna go as far as to say he was in the studio with her. Could be because that 100 gig song with him and her, they have collabed before, so those might have been some songs that also happened that night while she was in the studio with Drake.
I think Drake was right next to her, giving her every word that she needed to say, but it was executed so perfectly.
Whoa, we not gonna do that to Lotto.
I'm not the biggest Lotto fan. I don't dislike her. Just when it comes to female rappers, she's not the first one that I would go to. I don't even know why. Until today, where I can honestly say this man next to me put me on, forced me to listen to the entire album in chronological order. But yeah, it was really nice. And when he say, we were just talking about how it was influenced by Drake, I didn't hear it until that one song that I can't think of the name of the song, but it was a long song. And He was like, "You don't hear Drake?" I was like, "No, not for real." Until the beat switch, and I was like, "That's Drake."
Yeah. Really, on that second beat, she wasn't into her Drake flow though. Is the switch that got it for you? It was just like the switch, and then like her little ad libs with the switch, and you were like, "Oh yeah, that's Drake."
And some of the
But
words that she chose.
it was the flow. It was the It gets into like this 3-syllable word thing that Eminem does.
I don't know nothing about that.
I ain't really gonna get into all the way. You know what I'm saying? The nerdiness of what the fuck I was thinking in my head when I heard this shit.
Right.
But it was definitely the Drake flow, Drake beat. That the first one with that influence in it, I could show you a Drake song that sounds exactly like that. Like almost to the T. Exactly like that. Without the beat switch.
Type shit.
But when we got to that last flow, that last song, it was the one where Drake gets into his deep introspective bag where he's rhyming. He not only just the last word he said, he's rhyming 3 different words at one time in that kind of like laid back way. You feel me? And he starts the bar off with he never starts it off with I or none of that shit. Like big bag, despicable, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. The first word is never I, for sure. That's actually an immature thing that niggas do when they rap. It say I a lot, or I do this, we do this, she. It's kind of like immature, like. But I digress. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I also thought that maybe that was why him, he was kind of fucking with her little sister, right?
I didn't know that. I don't even recall her having a little sister.
You don't remember okay, so there was a live that happened, right? And in this live, there was a moment where the little sister ran past in the back. And it was like a big thing. They're like, "Oh, Drake's fucking with Lotto's younger sister." You don't remember that?
No, I must have not.
That was actually what Kendrick meant when he said, "If you fucking with him, hide your little sister from him," or however he said that shit.
Yeah, didn't catch that.
That's what he was referencing when he said that shit.
Oh.
But anyways, I digress.
Anyways, we passed Kendrick.
Okay, cool. So Lotto's last album, and you know what I'm saying, for the record, I'm just gonna put this on wax. She's definitely the best female rapper out of the last 5 years, for sure. For sure. Wait, is Cardi last 5 years? I don't think Cardi's a better rapper than her. No,
and she's not the last 5 years.
She's not the last 5 years. Okay, cool. But I was gonna say I don't think Cardi's a better rapper than her. I think Cardi is a better hit maker than her. But I don't think she's a better rapper. But we ain't. What? Oh my God, Doja's not a rapper.
Doja is a rapper, performer.
Doja is a pop star,
influencer. She's everything. And I tolerate no Doja slander in front of me.
Well, you the one that was telling me like the B-side. No, it wasn't you. I was talking to somebody about that though. We had got into females and they had said Doja and they were like, before she got into like this poppy bag that she's in now, she was like a really good rapper. And I haven't heard nothing before Bitch I'm a Cow. So I don't know that.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that?
I wouldn't say that I do. I just like, I don't know if I'm the best person to talk to about lyrics and like a heavy flow because I just love music in general, and I mean everything. How it sound, like how it make me feel. I'm heavily influenced by how it makes me feel, regardless of what they saying.
Okay, yeah. So we're not gonna get into lyrics discussion with you.
No.
Next thought. Next random thought. So while we were watching Umbrella Academy, right? Mm-hmm. I was thinking back to my conversation about the multiverse thing that I had a problem with in Deadpool.
Right.
But I don't really have a problem with it in Umbrella Academy.
I am. It's getting a little too much.
Well, as as far as we've seen, and we're about 4 episodes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as far as we've seen so far in Umbrella Academy, it hasn't really got as good as season 1 or season 2
at all. Are we doing spoilers?
No.
Okay.
No, we're not gonna spoil today.
Okay.
But I will say, as far as multiverse, because this is kind of like my random thought, it's done correctly when it comes to multiverse, because multiverse was introduced in the very beginning of Umbrella Academy.
It was.
So
as soon as they popped in, they just came out of nowhere.
My problem with multiverses has to do when they use it to kind of sew up some of the missteps in their writing.
So you think Deadpool is not right when it comes to the multiverse type thing? You think they don't fit in?
No. I think that they're using it to sew up all the missteps and the things that don't make sense in different movies. Marvel in general, they're not just Deadpool. Marvel in general, all the things that don't make sense, they're using multiverse to say this happened in a different timeline, and I don't like that because that's lazy writing. You lay a foundation, you follow that foundation all the way through. You don't then go into multiverse to say, hey, this is why that happened. You know what I'm saying? But when it's done correctly, like if you're going to do multiverse, you're going to do it at the very beginning. You introduce the multiverse, because that means that that's like a part of the actual show and not something just to stitch together all the bullshit that you've done over the years.
In Umbrella Academy, I sort of feel like the multiverse it helps answer questions. Does that make sense?
It did actually. It did with the. We're not going to talk about it, but you know what I'm saying. With the certain person's death.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It sold up a lot actually.
Yeah.
And that. But it's not normally used in that way. Is what I'm saying.
Like when they jump it back and forth into multiverses, it just answers questions to put back into place or something that was missing in the original multiverse.
Well, yeah, it does that, but that's not its sole purpose. Like I said, even from the very beginning, this isn't spoiler because this shit been out, but even from episode 1, 5 was in a whole different timeline. Yeah. At the very beginning, you know what I'm saying? And the apocalypse timeline. The very beginning.
And he was old.
Yeah.
He's such a cutie to me. I wonder how old he is in real life. I still haven't searched that.
He does look very childish.
Yeah, but like, how old is he in real life?
I don't know, but probably
I don't think
he has to be in his 20s.
Yeah.
Has to be in his 20s. Probably has a good skincare regimen or some shit. Mm-hmm. You know.
How do you feel about? No, never mind.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. I know where you were going. But I do think this is the correct way to use multiverse because, like I said, even with time travel in general, if it's introduced like this is the show, like it's about that, then I have no problem with that as long as it's written well. But when it's introduced later on to kind of fix problems that you've made, missteps that you made, shit that doesn't make sense.
It feels lazy to
you. It feels lazy. It feels like you were in the gym and it was like, oh, I know how to fix it. Let's go to multiverse. You know what I'm saying? So that was pretty much my random thoughts.
But overall, it started off slow, episode 1, but it's picking up. And I'm excited to see where it goes.
Oh, the last couple episodes have really had me locked in for sure.
Do you think that is this the last season, or you think it'll be another season after this?
I think this might be the season, the last, like the finale, season finale. Well, not season finale. I hope
they don't leave. I hate when it's a final season and they don't answer all the questions. So hopefully all the questions are answered.
I think the writers of this are very good. Season 3 probably wasn't my favorite at all.
No.
But I can't really fault that. Just like I give grace when a rapper goes into a bad album. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was really. I don't think it really helped anything because it was the Umbrella Academy, and the Sparrow,
Sparrow, yep. They
and
introduced Sparrows.
I don't even remember watching all of season three,
Me neither, to be honest.
but
That lets me know it wasn't a good season.
because it's already out, this isn't a spoiler. Everybody but Ben dies, and that just doesn't make sense to me. But it does because of season four. So season three was just like
That's
it really
where all
feels
the
out of
that's where all the
place.
multiverse timeline shit comes in. Like they died in that timeline, but
And he was brought into a different timeline.
this is a completely different timeline. I guess the only thing that doesn't make sense is the fact that they remember the things from different timelines. That's the thing that doesn't make sense.
And also, if it's different timelines, why haven't they met different versions of themselves except for five?
Well, that was because he went into that apocalypse timeline.
If there are different multiverses and different timelines, there should be different versions of each person.
Living in this timeline already, type shit.
And the only
I
person
can't
who has
answer that question.
met himself or seen himself in a different timeline is five.
That's a good question. I have no idea. But Umbrella Academy is definitely fire. If you haven't watched Umbrella Academy, I urge you to go watch. Season 3 probably won't be your favorite. Season 1 is
It was a
chef's
hook.
kiss.
Yeah.
It was a great season, and it's been a great show. I I think I'm okay with it ending it at season 4 though. I don't think I need a season 5 of this.
No, the way they doing something with their powers and things.
I think it'll start getting too repetitive.
We shall
When you
see.
go too long, it allows for too much bullshit in between. Like the longer you do something, it allows for a lot of bullshit in between. The reason I always go back to music because it's where my brain is, music or sports. But like Lauryn Hill is allowed to be called one of the greatest female rappers ever because she only put out one album. She put out a great, phenomenal, classic album, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Classic, still played to this day.
You know,
Still touring off that shit to this day.
my mom named me after Lauren,
Yeah, your middle name. We talked about that, but
which is dumb. She didn't spell it the same way, but that's besides the point.
that's where the idea came from.
You feel me?
But yeah. So like, even a person like Jay Electronica, he had only put out that one project until he put out the one with Jay-Z, and it allows for less critique on your work because you don't have to consistently put out that work. Once you put out that work multiple times in years, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to just come up with fire all the fucking time. There's gonna be drop off. It's inevitable. We're all human. There's gonna be drop off.
Except for in like Grey's Anatomy, where all 21 seasons
Are trash.
are great and amazing, and it may be repetitive in a great way.
Well, let's talk about the reason why we brought you here. Today we're gonna get into the conversation. We're gonna get into relationships, mental health, maybe a little bit of other things, just psychology of all. And to get into that, I'm gonna play a clip from the scar lip situation that's going on right now, and then we'll speak about it. Okay?
All right.
Sometimes.
What that mean?
I mean, sometimes. Sometimes.
Am I pretty right now?
No, not right now. Definitely not. Definitely not.
I don't feel like being on live no more.
I wouldn't either.
So you dead don't think I look pretty right now?
Not like right now. Like, sometimes. You feel me?
Well, I don't know what to think about that. I'm pretty, baby.
You're beautiful. Man.
Okay, so hopefully you all have seen this video, but she's on live, in her most natural elements, robe, no makeup,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and her dude is off camera, and she's speaking to him, and she asks him, "Do I look pretty, babe?" And he said, "Not right now." Not only did he say it once, he said it 3 times. He tripled down. Definitely not right now. I feel embarrassed for her.
Wait. She said, "Am I pretty?" first, and he said, "Sometimes."
If my man don't think I'm pretty all the time, that's a problem. Like, I should be pretty all the time. Am I want to say, like, the baddest, the most presentable at a 10 all the time? No, I'm probably not a 10 all the time, but I'm pretty all the time. No makeup, hair done, not hair done, nails, whatever the case may be. I should be pretty to you all the time.
But why? If we have a relationship where we are very honest with each other,
And I
like
look over,
brutally honest with each other, if that's our relationship, why do I have to tell you that you look pretty if you don't look pretty? Why ask a question that you don't want the answer to?
are we? No. I just feel like my man should think I'm pretty all the time.
I'm saying though, like, okay, so we can agree that Scarlett isn't the most attractive woman, right?
But to her man and her man alone, she should be the baddest. Why is he dating her if he doesn't think that she's pretty all the time?
Because we don't have to date off looks alone. We can date off. Maybe he thinks her personality is fire all the time.
No.
Maybe he likes the way she carries herself.
All of these things take a part into picking and staying with a partner, yes. But eyes judge first. You look at a person and you think, oh, this person is attractive.
Right, but attraction doesn't keep a relationship.
No.
Maybe he said sometimes. So when he seen her at first, she was pretty. In his eyes, she was pretty when he first seen her. They had sex. I mean, they probably dated, had sex, and he starts seeing her in different states. And she not the prettiest all the time, but she got a dope ass personality.
Also, a second problem that I have with this is that it's called on camera. Like, the minute he knew that she was on camera, he should have said what was appropriate just to please audiences. But also, this was sort of like maybe more an intimate moment. I wouldn't have asked this on camera, especially if you don't know what his response will be.
Yeah.
It was bogus. I feel very embarrassed for her.
I agree with that. I agree with on camera, maybe he probably shouldn't have said that.
He tripled down.
Yeah.
Definitely not right now. Definitely not right now.
Okay, so on camera we can
That's
agree.
so bogus on
maybe
camera.
he shouldn't have said that shit. But outside of on camera, right?
I guess say what you want. I guess.
Let's take that away. Let's take the camera piece away. Because maybe he doesn't understand that he's supposed to say that on camera.
Don't you think in certain parts of your relationship you should lie a little bit to keep everybody happy?
No.
Why would I just can't understand why I would want to be with someone who think I'm ugly.
He didn't say she was ugly. He just said she didn't look good at that exact moment. And in my eyes, she didn't.
But when you say, do you think I'm pretty? And your answer is sometimes, you think I'm ugly sometimes. And that's not okay. Never ugly.
It might not be that he thinks she's ugly, but he might think, and this not it right now.
I guess. Relationships are hard. It's a little communication barrier going on right there.
All right, let's get into let's get deeper into the conversation, right? To be able to be with a person all the time, right? I feel like that person that you're with all the time should be able to critique you, yes?
Yes. And
Wait, not just be able to critique your actions, but I should be able to critique the way you look. If you come to me with an outfit and you say, "Hey babe, is this outfit okay?" And I say, "Nah, baby, that's not it." You know what I'm saying? "Oh, well, I really think this." "Nah, baby, that's not it." If you come to me with a little messed up wig or lace front or some shit, you know what I'm saying? "Hey baby, how my hair look?" "Nah, baby, your edge is not hitting right," or "Nah, I can really tell that that's an install. You might," you know what I'm saying? "You might need to brush up on the edge." I'm not saying that all the time, outfit wise, that you look bogus, or all the time, every time you put your wig on, you look bogus, but I'm having a moment of honesty with you, and I'm letting you know that this right here that you're presenting is not it. So let's correct that, right?
that's understandable.
So why, when it comes to looks, do I have to just feel that you look good all the time?
I just think that there should be some consistent thought that my partner is beautiful all the time, even in their most natural states. If my hair was messed up and all of these different things, maybe I got one lash on, there should still be some sort of internal part to you that think, even though she look a little rough right now, she's still beautiful.
He might think that she's beautiful, because beautiful in that sense that you're talking about is not just looks. Beautiful can be, maybe she's gorgeous on the inside. Right now, you
What are you
asked me,
talking about looks?
but
Not on
you
the inside.
know, when we talk about our partner thinking we're beautiful all the time, that means that even in states that we're not beautiful, our partner still thinks that we are attractive, right? Attraction is not mutually exclusive to looks, right?
I guess. I agree. It could be actions that are attractive.
Right. So she was asking exclusively, how do I look? Am I pretty right now?
I guess that is up between her and her partner, and if she is okay with his answer, she will continue to be with him. But afterwards, she got on social media and apologized to the viewers, that she felt embarrassed and that, that this was just wrong and etc. So she felt some type of way about his answers, regardless of what me and you are saying right now. She felt some type of way about her partner's answers.
Right. But I'm kind of more so going off of, I'm broadening it a little bit. So she felt uncomfortable with that. That's something that they should have a conversation with themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in a broader sense, should we lie to our partners? I feel like, before you answer that, I think that's more of an old school thing. Like, you shouldn't tell a
Like,
woman she's
babe,
fat.
do I look good in this dress? And you just say yes.
Yeah, do I look fat in this? Of course not. You know what I'm saying? I think that's an old school type of chivalrous thing, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
So if I look bad in a dress, you just go no.
But this 2024, gang. No cap. This is 2024. So we're in this era more concerned. This is the truth era, right?
Sort of.
This is people more so live in, I'm not gonna say that, that's wrong. But we try to tell the truth from our perspectives. I'm not gonna say that people live in the truth, because some people's perspective is just a lie to themselves.
Yeah.
That's an even deeper conversation. But as far as just being more blatantly honest, it happens a lot more in this era than any era before. Even when we talk about, if we talk about politics, if we talk about entertainment, if we talk about sports, if we talk about anything in this era, it's more predicated on truth from your perspective, because people have different truths. You know what I'm saying? But truth from your perspective, this is the generation that we live in. Um, do I think that it's less problematic to just go ahead and say, "Hey, babe, you look good"? Of course, but that's not what she would. What a lot of people born in our generation and younger are concerned with.
It's very important on how you say it. If you think I look too, let's say I put on a dress and I think it's so pretty, and you think in this dress I look sloppy body. Well, it's just how you say it to me that can change. It's blunt, being blunt with your truth versus being sensitive to how it may make me feel. And I don't think a lot of people are too cautious or aware of how they speak to their partner. Like they don't know how to tell the truth. You can tell the truth, but you don't have to be mean when you do it, especially to your partner.
Okay, I hear that, right? But what if this is how I am, right? What if this is what if before we even got into this relationship you understood who I am as a person and how I express myself as a person?
Well, then if I knew how you were, then I have to accept you. And if I accept you, that means I'm not willing to change you. And then either we would date or we wouldn't. But if I am, if I am, just because that's who you are doesn't mean that's how you have to stay. You can develop. And if you're not willing to change in a relationship to work with or accommodate your partner, well, then you should be single.
Mm. Um, is this the first time that we've seen her boyfriend? Well, we haven't seen
Didn't
him,
even show his face.
but you know what I mean. Like,
I think so. I didn't know she was dating.
yeah, I personally didn't know. I didn't know she was in a relationship.
Me either.
So this is let me go to something else. I really don't think that it was called for all that backlash. You should leave him.
Oh no. It shouldn't have resulted in all the female, maybe even male, but mainly female comments. Girl. You
They
shouldn't
was
take
going
that.
hard on her.
Yeah, and that's what happens a lot in on social media when people put relationships on social media. Um, but at the end of the
You
day,
open yourself up to their opinion for sure.
yeah, when you put things on social media, you definitely open yourself up for them to comment. You wanted the world to see. I mean, she must have been okay with it at first because the minute it was posted, don't you think if she wasn't okay with it, wouldn't you have deleted it immediately?
You
To
can't do that on her level. It's alive. Somebody's
Somebody screenshot it, yeah.
recording that as she's on live. So there's no way for, especially when you're that big of a star. Even sometimes when you're not a star, some people when you're on live, you're open to somebody recording what you're doing.
Right.
Even posting and deleting, like you're open to somebody screenshotting that before you delete it, and it lives on the internet. What happens on the internet generally stays on the internet, especially at her level.
But back to what you said something. I'm blanking on what you said, but I wanted to say.
I was saying that I just really didn't like all the backlash to the man. Like,
He was just being honest with his partner. I don't know if he knew that she was on live or not. It was a quite a terrible moment, and it caught him in a bad light,
Yeah, we don't
especially to
we
the
don't
female
know we
community.
don't know anything about this man. Like,
He might be very sweet, sweet to her and tell her that she's the best and all types
yeah,
of
nigga
stuff.
might buy her flowers on random days. We know nothing. Like,
Like it's
we,
definitely a reason she's dating this person. She
yeah.
chose this person. So hopefully, after all this backlash that him and her are receiving, they can communicate and talk about. And of course, it's only up to her if she decides to stay with this man or not.
Oh, okay. So that gets me into a different conversation, right? So being on live is like sharing your relationship with other people, right? Do you think that it's healthy to share the interpersonal relationship, like the interpersonal things about your relationship with other people? Where do you fall on that? Do you fall on we look happy or look presentable in front of people and we handle our issues, behind closed doors, or do you fall in the category of motherfuckers that overshare about their relationship in every aspect?
I think a good relationship is not shared via social media or with hundreds or even 20s of people. Um, of course, I do think it's okay to vent to somebody, not necessarily for their opinion, but just to vent because sometimes it's hard to talk to your partner about certain things that you feel. Sometimes you're not able to fully express to your partner how you would a friend or a family. So I do think it's okay to have a close circle that's not sharing your business or putting their opinions to alter your thoughts about this person. And you don't want too many people to have so many opinions that they see your partner in a dark light either, because they're gonna hold the bad over the good, no matter how good that person may be. Um, but no, relationships don't belong on social media. I think the best relationships um, are private. They're beautiful and they have their little inside jokes and things.
Yeah, I think the same. I think more so that your dark parts of your relationship shouldn't be shared with anybody close to you as well. Like anybody that anybody opinion that you value so much that it could alter, like you said, that it could alter the way that you think about the person.
So when you and your partner are,
Because once you get past that,
they might
they
not.
necessarily might not get past that point. Like you could be healed from whatever happened, but it brings up certain emotions when, but oh yeah, girl, remember when he da 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 da, or oh yeah, girl, I definitely don't think your single friend is not who you should share your relationship with.
Facts. But my question to you is, when you're really going through something with your partner and you don't feel like they are the person you can speak to, who do you speak to? Or do you just keep it all bottled in?
Um, I think you turn to, and not everybody has this, but I think your best bet is to turn to an elder statesman in your life. Somebody up there, 40, 50, 60, elder statesman in your life. Somebody that's had a lot of life experience and somebody that can really understand what you're going through from a non-hurt perspective. You know what I'm saying?
I disagree. Or maybe it's just a personal disagree. When I think of the elders, the 40, 50s, of people who have been through life, relationships, have lived, have learned, um, they still act like they're young. They still jump in person to person. They're in a toxic relationship of their own. They're not a role model. They're just a person who has age, who has done it before. And I don't think you can turn to every elder person. And in
No,
my
no, no,
life,
no,
personally,
no.
I wouldn't turn to certain people.
No, not every elder person, but there should. And um, we're talking in a perfect world. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like,
In a perfect world, I can understand turning to an elder,
yeah, we're
that
not
one
saying
go-to
like
person.
not everybody has that. Not everybody has
Definitely
good
don't.
older people in their life. Some of the people that are older in their life are still acting like they're fucking 20, running around in their 20s and shit. And no, that's
But
not
you
the
you mean the grandpas and the grandmas?
yeah, the grandpas, grandmas, aunts,
Yeah.
the older aunts, you know what I'm saying? The people that have lived a lot and can really understand and like depth
Right.
how to react to certain situations. People that's been in multiple marriages or people that's been in a one marriage for a very long time.
Yeah.
Um, they really allow that perspective. Sometimes they allow that listening ear that you just need at the time, because that's really what you're talking about. Like you
That's
need
what
to
you're
vent.
seeking.
You're
Yeah.
seeking somebody to vent to, not somebody to give their opinion. Really, at the time, you're really
Right.
just looking to unload what you're holding right now
This is why
off onto another
therapy should
person.
be more available, because if we don't have that person in our life, we should definitely turn to a therapist.
Right, because the therapist is never gonna hold anything
They're
that
just
that
that
person
third
did
party, that listening ear,
and
that
helps
person that
you.
can help you think through your thoughts.
Exactly.
Yeah, we need more therapists.
Therapists are definitely needed in a lot of these situations. If you don't have a therapist or can't afford a therapist, just try to turn to, in my opinion, try to turn to the closest person to you that, and like I said, elder statesman. I like a opinion that's matured. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the matured opinions can understand you going through these problems instead of the more childish leave that nigga. Cause when you turn to your single friend,
They're gonna shit on your relationship.
leave that nigga. Not only are they gonna shit on your relationship, they might encourage you to cheat in your relationship, find somebody else. They might encourage you to be angry, more angry about this situation than you
Right.
actually
They definitely
are.
gonna rile you up.
Yeah, then whenever you come to them with anything else, they're gonna bring up this, that, and the third in the past that you've already got over. You know what I'm saying? Your single friend is your single friend that's like single, like
Out in the streets.
yeah, that is the worst person for you to turn to in these times, especially if you're a person that's looking for marriage, if you're a person that's looking for long-term, long-lasting relationships, if you're looking for a healed opinion, because a lot of times our single friends are the most hurt. They're the most that's been through.
Or just the undeveloped emotionally, and that they can't stay in relationships
Yeah,
because something wrong.
right. They
Like they keep
they don't
running
know how
people
to
away.
work through problems. She's a runner. She's a track star. They're sprinters. When
Right.
something is wrong, they sprint away, they run, they hide, they go find something else to comfort them instead of facing the problems that present themselves in their relationships. I definitely single friends, male or female too, for sure. When I'm going through something in my relationship, I turn to the people, like if I'm looking for genuine advice, I turn to the people in my life that are married, people in my life that's been in long relationships. Once again, elder statesmen, elder statesmen in my life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm fortunate enough to have people that I can call and express different things to them and not be met with um met with a
Negativity.
negative or a biased opinion.
Right.
A very clear opinion. A lot of the old elder statesmen of mine are going to tell me to turn to God, but
I mean, or if you, for me, If sometimes I turn to writing or just other outlets, um, like yoga or something, meditation, just simply breathing, or maybe I need to cry or something. I don't know, but I mean, but if you're more extreme, you could turn to like kink.
Kink. Okay. Okay. You want to get into that?
Very taboo topic.
You want to get into kinks?
Just a bit.
Okay. Um, how do you think kinks should be addressed in relationships? So let's say I'm with a person, we've been dating for 8+ months, a pretty solid amount of time,
And you want to tell them that you want to try certain things in
and
bedroom.
they come up with, either you want to tell them, hey, I have this kink. Let's not start with yourself. Let's start with the other person has a kink that you didn't know about. How do you address that unknown kink? You've been dealing with each other, you've been having this regular sex or whatever, however your sex is, and all of a sudden you didn't know this, but they really had this kink that they wanted you to indulge in with them, and they kind of spring it on you.
Yeah.
What do you think the proper steps are in that?
Uh, so once again, communication is very important. If they're telling you that this is something that they do, they love, and I guess you could say they might need it in their sexual life, and they say, "Hey, I want to do this with you." Well, you need to be open and communicate and say, "Hey, hopefully, one, you need to be open, and if you are open to trying it, if you never have, they will teach you what you like, what they like, and what they dislike, the yes and no's, how to do it, etc. Because this is something for it to be a kink is something that they find it was important enough for them to mention it. Um, they probably, if like you said, we've been waiting 8 months, they probably been waiting, so they have a itch to scratch.
All right.
They really got to be open into trying it. And after they do try it, I'm a firm believer in trying things twice, maybe 3 times to see if you really like it, because once is just not enough. But let's say you
Whoa.
try.
Okay. Wait. All right. What if I'm with a partner and she want to peg a nigga? Like, I have to be open to trying that shit. Like
No.
I really like this lady, right? I like a lot about this lady. I think she's great in various different areas of life.
You know who you with.
Right, but what if she never brought this up before? This is the same perspective that we're speaking from. She never brought this up before, and she's springing this on me. Hey, I really want to peg you. Like, now I'm supposed to be open. Like, or is there a correct way for me to turn her down and be like, hey, like, I'm never into trying that, like, cause I don't.
I think it
Motherfuckers say
goes.
that's like some closed minded shit, but like, why is it closed minded if it goes against who I am as a person to even try that?
So I'm a firm believer in you know who you got with. So if you've been with this woman for some time, it's probably been some signs that she's into something more kinkier. But vice versa for her, she should know if you've been messing with each other for quite some time, she should know that her partner has a hard limit on pegging, on anal play for him.
Right.
It's just that simple. She should know. And if she springs it on you, maybe she felt like you were open to it. And if you express to her that you're not open to it, then she has to be okay with that. And if she's not okay with that, if she has to peg a man, if that is her true desire in life, and that's not what you're into or her partner's into, she will have to find another person, or they will have to find a different outlet to appeal her desires.
So what, like, letting her peg somebody else type shit.
Maybe if that's okay with her partner.
Okay, I think that might have been a little extreme.
It was very extreme.
um, hmm, where can I go with this? So,
But kink, we were talking about relationships and other outlets. Kink can be healing for some people. Did you know that?
um, I'm not gonna say I knew that necessarily. I know it can help in other areas of their life. I didn't necessarily, the word healing wasn't the first word to pop in my mind, but
When
it
you
can
think of
definitely
kink.
help in other areas of their life. Like if somebody has a bunch of pent up aggression, maybe BDSM, whipping, pain might be an outlet, a therapeutic outlet for them to deal with in this realm and not take that over into other parts of their life. Healing might not be the word that I was thinking, but I definitely understand that it can definitely it could be something that improves life.
So I say the word healing because there is good pain and bad pain. So a bad pain is like something unwanted. Like let's say you accidentally burnt yourself. Like that's a bad pain.
Hmm.
But a good pain is a pain that you want and that you can control. You can control how hard this person hits me. You can control where this person hits me. You can control how many times this person hits me, etc. So like it's good and bad pains. And when you have control of a situation, it can it can be healing. Like having control over a situation makes any person feel better.
Hmm.
Control makes people feel better.
Hmm.
So we don't have control in every area of our lives. So when it comes to kink, you do have control in this one area. And it can be very releasing. It can be very emotional. Once again, it can be very healing.
Okay. Um, let's talk about the different types of kinks that there are.
There are
Uh,
too many types of kinks.
okay. Let's talk about the different. We don't have to go over all of them, but we can go over a few kinks.
What
And
comes to your mind?
how you feel they help. Like, okay, to my mind, something I've always been maybe I've always been very
Curious?
no, hell no. I've always been very I've never really understood, let's say that I never really understood what does it do for a man to cuckold? Like how does that kink heal in your words?
Um, um, cuckold.
Are you not familiar? Well, I know you're familiar with
I
that.
am.
Are you not familiar with the psychology behind it?
I just wanna. I don't. Let's not start with cuckolding.
You asked me which one would I like to start with,
I
and
think.
I guess that was one that of course along with like foot fetishes and shit, but we already discussed that we weren't going to talk about foot fetishes because that's not something that either one of us understands.
Okay,
So
so
another one was cuckolding for me.
when it comes to kink and BDSM and this whole world of things, I think there's a difference between a desire and like a need. So cuckolding, if you're unfamiliar, is like excuse me, it's like it's
Black
like
smoke getting to you, huh?
it's like when your wife is usually in a married situation, your wife is having a sexual affair with another person right in front of you. and this third, the husband, I guess, and is usually tied up, and he's being forced to watch. I couldn't tell you what this does for that man.
Wait. Usually tied up? I thought they'd be playing with themselves in the corner or some shit.
It's levels to it. They could be tied up. They could be forced to watch. They could be free and playing with themselves. They could turn them on.
Right.
It's various ways, you know. Cuckold is just the partner is watching. The partner is being.
I guess I haven't really delved into cuckolding, but I really didn't know that people be like restraining themselves to watch this shit. I thought in my head cuckolding was like you want to see somebody else fuck your partner while you jerk off in the corner. Or...
It can be that, or they could be, or your partner could have tied you up and they're forcing you to watch them be beat,
right. But you don't really
beat by another person.
You don't really have any insight on the psychology behind people that do that.
No, I think it gives more power to the person being fucked compared to the person that's watching.
Yeah.
I don't know what it does for the person that's watching, but I could think it will be a power move for the person that's being fucked.
Well, for sure, a power move for that person, but we can agree that there are people that enjoy doing that, like being the cucky, if you will.
Cucky, for sure.
there's people that enjoy, like, that want to be a cucky, right?
Yeah.
So
I think it's a really high desire of finding your partner so attractive. Not that you want to share, but that you want to watch them. Sometimes
you want to watch them be pleased in ways that you can't. Because
a lot of the times that person who's watching is so small that they just know they can't please a female. So yeah, a lot of the times when I do have seen cuckolding, it's interracial as well, and it's a white married couple, and the woman is having sexual intercourse with a person of a different race.
Okay. Well, wait. So that gets me into something else, right? If you don't know the psychology behind that cuckolding, do you know the psychology behind race play? Like guys that wanna be called the N-word while a white woman.
I think it's got to do with self-esteem and internal issues.
Mm-hmm.
Because you mean like black men wanting to be called?
Like black men wanting to be called the N-word by a white woman while they're having sex with her or masturbating to her or whatever the case may be.
I think it's a little self-esteem type of thing because that's very interesting.
Oh, it's fast and it's sick as fuck to me.
Yeah, because why would you want to be called basically a slur by your partner and that turns you on? But in the same sense, they have control over the situation.
And in the same sense, like, you know, motherfuckers like to be called bitches and sluts while they partner fuck them.
They like to be degraded.
They like to be degraded. This is like a deeper version of degradation, though. Like,
it is.
It's black women that like white men to call them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. While they fucking their ass, call them a dirty N-word. Even some of them go as far as slave play.
Or the ER. Oh, I hate slave and age play. That actually creeps me out. You know, age play. I don't really think we should get into that.
We're not gonna get into it.
But I dislike it because it does not make sense, and it's sort of. I remember. So if we were talking about LGBT a few years back,
we weren't.
But whatever. the pedos was trying to add themselves into the LGBTQ plus, IA plus.
They still are.
I feel like age play is another way for them to add themselves into society, into a good light into society. But I just don't think that. But that's my little spiel.
Into accepting light.
Yes.
They want to be accepted.
Yes. And that's why I feel like sometimes BDSM is just looked so negatively upon because there is some bad to it. Because age play, like, but it depends on the type of age play as well. And let me get into that. So there are grown adults who like to be um age play as babies. And this is a form of release because being an adult is really, really, really hard, right? And they just
Mm-hmm.
want to go back into a time.
Mm-hmm.
Them blacks is, you know, I'm not a smoker. Nothing
Yeah.
really getting to me.
That's all right. The
Um,
Black and Mild King is here.
they want to revert back to a time where they're able to be free, be taken care of. And I've seen like real deep videos where they have a crib, an adult crib. They're doing what they're urinating and pooping into an adult diaper, and they actually have a person taking care of them. And this is their age play partner, the adult, and they both take pleasure in it. Some people find pleasure in taking care of people, and then of course the age play, the baby player, finds release and
Being
letting
the
go of
child.
all responsibilities that comes with being an adult,
Right.
even for just a little bit. And once again, they have control of the situation, and there are safe words, etc. But as for like
That's scary.
what age play, you don't want to poop into a diaper?
Nah, I'm cool. I did that in the hospital. I'm cool.
Oh,
Straight.
yeah. Didn't
Yeah,
like it? Was
hated
it
it.
mushy?
It's disgusting.
I'm sorry.
Who,
Sorry to
as
hear
a
that.
grown man, wants to
Yeah.
shit on themselves and
But only,
have somebody else
I
wipe
wouldn't
their
even really
ass?
say I find that acceptable, but I do understand the
It's
desire.
easier to understand than a
Yeah.
man that wants a female to play as a younger female
Yeah. A
or
baby
some type of
girl.
weird ass shit like that.
Yeah. Because we all say it, dang, you know, I wish I was a kid again. We all say that. But some
Yeah,
people take
but
it too
I
seriously.
was finna say I think we mean that in a sense of I just wish
We could go back.
not I don't have a problem with the responsibility of using the tool.
Right.
Like we just have a problem with the responsibility, not even a huge problem, just like we want relief from the responsibility of being an adult. So we wish we could go back to, and a lot of people when they say this, they mean like high school. They don't even mean
Right.
like high school or maybe middle school. Like a lot of people when they say that aren't saying I wish I could go back to when I was fucking 3 years old.
Right.
It's like you weren't too aware of too much shit at 3 years old, dude. You had you had no knowledge or very little knowledge of the actual world, so it allowed you to be naive, and with ignorance comes bliss, as they say.
How do you feel about power exchange?
Power exchange in the bedroom.
Yes.
Um, that's not something that I'm into. Um, I don't like to give up the power in a bedroom with sex. I don't like to be dominated per se.
Why? Um, is it too hard for you to give up control?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's hard for me to give up control. It doesn't make me feel good to be dominated by my partner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like to be choked. I wouldn't be handcuffed to a bed or anything like that.
And you're not open to it at all.
Uh, at all.
Have you even tried?
Hell nah.
So how do you know you're not open to it?
And because I know I'm not open to it, I don't believe that's you that believes that you need to try. I don't think you need to try things. Like to a certain extent, you need to try things, but there's certain things that you know that you wouldn't fuck with, and trying them would be more of a traumatic experience than a lesson learned. You know what I'm saying? You already knew this wasn't something that you would fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What if you try it and you actually like it?
there's no doubt in my mind that I would never like no shit like that. Cause That's what motherfuckers say to get you niggas to let them put a finger up your ass. Oh, just trying. So motherfuckers say let a female eat their ass. Now I'm not gonna sit up here and kink shame. You feel me? That's what y'all in. That's what motherfuckers be into. But some of you niggas be knowing you not into that shit, and you let a motherfucker do it on some, at least try it type shit. And now you just got a motherfucker that can walk around and say they put a finger in your ass or they ate your ass and have you looking crazy over some shit that you knew in the first place that you were not okay with.
Well, that sounds like a bit of embarrassment. Like
It can be embarrassment. It can
that
be
stops you
embarrassing.
that stops you from living. That stops you from
I
trying.
wouldn't
things.
say that it stops you from living. You already knew that this was something that you weren't going to fuck with. You did it. You didn't even fuck with it when you did it. But now on top of you not fucking with it, you also have to live with a motherfucker that can walk around and say that they did that shit to you. Not saying that that person would do that.
I just don't think you like being submissive in any way. I couldn't. Nobody would be able to tie you up, gag you, spank you, nothing.
Hell no.
You don't like to be the receiver, you like to be the giver in all areas of life. And this is how it ties into mental health and just a source of relaxing. Sex or kink could just be that one area in life where you are able to not be in control, but you like to be in control everywhere. How do you
I like
how
to
do you
be in
relieve?
control of everything that I can control.
Isn't that stressful? Trying to
No,
control everything.
because I don't try to control things that are outside of my control. I can only control what I can control. So I choose to take control of those things, and it's actually very relieving because I'm not just letting things happen to me that I can change. But what's stressful is when you need to be in control of everything and you can't, and you still try to control those things. So that's what's stressful. That can be stressful. But it's not stressful to be in control of the things that you can control. Like, I know that I can control things in the bedroom. I know that I can control things um, as far as things in my life or anything like that. But anything outside of my control, I'm not overly stressing on how to control those things.
So you found your balance.
I just take it to the things that I can control. Yeah, there's a balance in the thing. There's some people that need to control every aspect of everything, as far down to bugs, a speck of dirt somewhere, like anything. Like, they just need everything to be a certain way or they cannot function. And
I'm glad you're not a control freak.
I don't fall under that realm, and that is where the stress comes in with control. But I don't think control in itself is something that is stressful.
Right.
As long as you know that you cannot control everything in life. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, this has been a minisode of the Man Whaaat podcast. Thank you for coming through, Rachel.
Thank you for having me. I hope it's been fun and educational and different.
This is definitely different from any episode that I've ever had on the Man Whaaat platform. It was more in depth. It was more conversation wise, less jokes, funniness. Things that we usually do. Sometimes it gets chaotic. It's the most controlled episode that I've had. So it was nice having you come through and talk to the people. Yes, ma'am. It's been a minisode of the Man Whaaat podcast. This is the Black and Mild King. EXO level boy, but I am the Black and Mild King. I am the one-leg league, bro. You know what I'm saying? I am the captain of the motherfucking ugly squad. You feel me?
You're doing too much.
I appreciate everybody that came through. Like, subscribe, comment, go and get in tune with this. It's dropping Monday. I love y'all. Goodbye. What I say? Man, what?
Man,
Fuck
what?
you talking about?
Oh, I didn't even notice you there. I'm just bringing myself off because I was just talking all that shit. You can smell it on me. Oh, I got the fucking mouthwash because I probably said some foul shit.